So I was experimenting with this preset yesterday and I thought this could be a solution for the average pedal junkie. So if you're not ready to quit your pedals yet, maybe this video could be for you. The idea here is we're using the HX Stomp to do sort of something similar to something like a Strymon Iridium, or the Walrus Audio ACS1, the Universal Audio stuff that's recently come out. I don't have any of those things at the moment, but I wanted to do something relatively similar here. So the idea is as well that we are able now to preserve a stereo path going into the HX Stomp. So if you've got like a stereo delay unit, Strymon Timeline, or this J-Rocket Clockwork is stereo, or even if you were using something like an HX Effects, I've set up this preset to be able to accommodate that. Now how I've done this, at this first split we go balance A left 100, balance B right 100, and then we got two identical line 6 litigators. The only difference actually is that the sag is set to 5 on this bottom one. I think that's the only difference, but you could experiment with making these things further apart if you want to. And then we pan the join left 100, B 100, and then I've got a low high shelf here just to give it a little bit more low end kind of balls. This would be used with in-ears probably for me, or going to desk. So I've got 150 hertz being pushed by 7.5. That's a stereo block. You're going to need to make sure that all of these are stereo. Then you'll probably know that a cab block generally collapses things to mono, so this is a really useful use of the dual cab option. So I've got a 1x12 Fullerton on one side, 160 ribbon. Again, of course, you could experiment with your own sort of setup for this. 30% reflections, and then on the other side a 1x12 Cali 4, 409 with 30% reflections. And I've got a transistor tape here which I could put on. This is just to show that you could equally do some sort of combined setup. So what we actually get tone wise, of course this depends totally on what you put in front of it, but you can see this accommodates like the stereo-ness of So having a stereo delay into the HX Stomp I think could be quite a good idea, potentially if you're wanting to do this dual amp thing, and you've got your favourite delay units and stuff that you already use. Equally though, the other thing, I've got like a boost programmed here, so I think this could make a really fairly useful kind of board. And the other thing that I've got here is the El Ombra. Of course, any drive could do the job, and it might even be a sensible idea, I think, to have a drive that's capable of 2 gain stages for this kind of thing if you're gonna. But the feeling of having, I guess, these physical things to play around with, I think some people find too addictive, as well as, it can sometimes take time and you may not even think that you actually get there. If you just try to replicate your physical pedals in the Helix, I think that's an experience that some folks definitely. Let me know in the comments if you've tried doing this sort of thing. I think for the folks who can't quit pedals, this might be something that you might want to consider trying your HX Stomp for. And of course, it's nice to be able to sort of mix and match some of this stuff, and as much as I like the idea of something like the Iridium or whatever, this is so much more flexible. I think if you're able to get around the idea of tweaking and you know, you could get in there and you could say, okay, well, what happens if I combine a matchless DC30 with this Dumble inspired amp? You know, if I take that in and see what happens, what does that sound like? Don't forget as well, because we've got this dual cab thing going on, if I'm finding the matchless side too bright, I can come in here, take the high cut down, and then I get this as a result, I guess. A perfect way to use your HX Stomp to complement your existing rig, you know, and maybe save yourself some money instead of going out there and thinking, right, I need the next kind of amp model or whatever. What if you take what you've got, if you've already got an HX Stomp or something like that, try this dual amping thing, stick your real pedals in front. You know, Keith at 5 Watt World is a proponent of this idea. This kind of hybrid setup, I think, could be perfect for a bunch of different things. But making use of the DSP power and flexibility of the HX Stomp to just run 2 amp models and a dual cab and use that as kind of your amp engine, a stereo one with this kind of setup, give it a try.